Nice guys, stop accommodating every one of your partner's needs. Or it might not be your partner, it might be your friend, your colleague, your family member, whatever it might be. This is what we dove into on this week's coaching call with a few of my clients, actually, Steve, and Steve. We'll talk about this, making sense of how and why nice guys tend to do all the accommodating for their partner, but get none of that in return. If you feel like your relationships are a little bit one-sided, where you're always accommodating the other and they're not necessarily accommodating you, this video is for you. Hang around to the end because I'm going to give you a very important tool that you can use to bring this to life in your relationships, including a really powerful and I think, quite simple analogy that works. If you're new here, click like, subscribe, ring the bell to get notifications for when these videos come out so that you can download them directly into you, your brain, and your life. But first, hey the legend, I'm Mike Campbell. I am the anti-nice guy men's coach. I'm a founder of the Everyday Legends Academy, and I help nice guys in building genuine, rock solid self-worth, self-respect, and a solid sense of security so that you can move past all of the conditional kindness, all the bullshit insecurities, and step fully into being a solid, sovereign, unfuckwithable good man. In this series, I bring downloads and lessons from some of my coaching calls with my clients, Steve and Steve. I will call them all Steve to protect their privacy. So let's dive into today's lesson, where primarily I work with, in my Zeus inner circle, reforming nice guy business owners or business leaders. That might not be you, but there's a sense here that they have things going on in their lives that they're leading in life, in relationship, and in business often. Either way, these lessons are transferable because they are related to nice guys. What a nice guy will tend to do, I've spoken about this in other videos, you might have seen them. Let us know below if you have. And any questions you've got around this. You can always ask my questions, always ask your own questions these, and I can speak to them for you in the comments or in a new video. A nice guy will often tend to center a relationship around the other person's needs and prioritize and make the other person's needs more important than them. Because then if I keep you happy, if I make sure that you and your needs are met, and therefore I continue to accommodate for you, then I'll be safe. I'll be okay. I'll be wanted. I'll have some approval, I'll have some praise, I'll have some use, right? And that means I'll feel safe and hoping that it will be reciprocated. You will choose to meet my needs. You will potentially do the inhuman thing of reading my mind and understanding what my needs are so I don't have to communicate them and risk being shot down, getting a bit of how dare you, or getting rejected for even having my own needs. And so what will end up happening is that nice guy is constantly accommodating others. But this is not just in romantic relationships or work, family, friendships. It's accommodating others. Yeah, sure, yes, yes, I'll do, yes, I'll do, yes, I'll do, sacrificing self for others. It's this perceived selflessness, which is actually coming from a selfish place. I'm doing this so I can get praise, validation, approval in return. You will like me, right? So these kind of covert, manipulative contracts that nice guys will use in order to serve their insecurity inside. Doesn't work. Does not work because it leads to frustration. It leads to resentment. If I keep accommodating the other and they never show up for me, never meet my needs or try to or want to accommodate me, that builds this kind of ledger. And fuck you for not meeting my own needs. Doesn't work. So this was what was going on in a simple sense for some of the guys. We're talking about this, how it shows up in their lives. And what it fundamentally is needing to come down to is that in a relationship, let's go to a romantic relationship because that was what was going on for Steve in this coaching call. First of all, how have we centered the relationship? And we see that primarily him and his partner, they're both equal parts guilty in this, have centered the relationship more around her needs. The challenge for a lot of nice guys is if I voice this, she's going to be pissed off. Learn to handle your partner's disappointment and being pissed off at you. But also, you need to stand up for yourself. I love you, your needs are important, and I need our relationship to recognize that both of our needs are equally as important. But before we even dive into the needs, because this is one of the primary lessons for so many, especially nice guys when it comes to relationships, is we need to be able to communicate about our communication. Before we even get into the thing, can we communicate about how we communicate? Can we talk about needs? I need us to be able to communicate and each of us to be able to share. This is important for me. This is a need of mine. This is something I want. And I need to feel safe enough to communicate that it won't be attacked or judged, that I'm not wrong for having needs or expressing something, even though it might be unlikely. I want to bugger off for a week's holiday with my mates, but I've got you and two kids at home, right? I'm not wrong for voicing it. I need the safety. We both need the safety to be able to voice that. And this is the challenge for the nice guys, is that you're going to have to, quite likely, lead these conversations. Because if you have a partner who has been in this position for so long, where their needs have been the more centered needs, the more highly prioritized needs, it's not necessarily going to be something that they want to do. They might want you to show up in new ways. They might want you to have more self-respect and more backbone and, stand up to them, but they're not necessarily going to want the consequences, which is, well, then your needs aren't going to be placed on such a pedestal. That's a challenge that you're going to need to confront, which is why before you dive into, here's my needs, here's what they are, which is an important conversation, you've got to set it up and continually talk about how you navigate these things. That's that first piece. And so this is when this language will come in. I feel like I am the one continually accommodating you and your needs. And that is not to blame you for it, because I have chosen that. But in saying this, I'm choosing that that's no longer going to be how it is. And that is not saying your needs don't matter and I'm not going to accommodate you. It means both of our needs matter. I need you to honor my needs, as I am going to choose to do it myself. And I need both of us to make each other's needs equally as important as the others. So there are going to be moments when I'm going to choose to say no or not accommodate you or your needs. That's going to feel wild and wildly uncomfortable. But I'm going to ask for your support in that. I'm going to sit in the discomfort if you get pissed off or annoyed at that. Because otherwise, the path that is the path that you will easily continue on. Frustration, never being, shown up for, met, and continually accommodating others and absorbing all of that yourself. And that usually means disappointment. So we need to be able to talk about this. And here's the analogy that we got to in the call. Steve said, yeah, it's like, I need to put my shit on the table, right? I need to bring, here's all my shit, right? This is the stuff that I want, including all of my shit, man, securities, etc., how we often refer to that term. But more so, like, I need to put all of my stuff, my needs, etc., on the table. And I said to him, well, it's a great point. And what that also brings to light is, if it's not on the table now, then where is it? Right? If my needs and my wants and what's important to me isn't on the table of our relationship, it isn't known, where is it? I'm hiding it. I'm keeping it swept under the rug. And as you know, the more you sweep something under the rug, the bigger the pile is, the bigger the trip comes eventually. And that's where nice guys will often get frustrated and lash out, or, you never meet me, or whatever it is. The overreaction, because it will come to light. So whatever it is, your shit, your fears, your insecurities, and your desires, your wants, your needs, your dreams, your passions, what you want for your life, what's important to you, it has to be on the table of your relationship. And that table has to be held up by the two of you. It can't have one short aside and you are constantly accommodating and holding it up. You're like, sure, you keep putting yours on and we perhaps ignore mine, or I'll keep accommodating, right? We both are responsible for what is on the table. No one is bad or wrong for putting things on, but we get to communicate it. We get to explore it together. If you feel your partner going into adversarial mode, voice it. So to me right now, it feels like we've gone into adversaries. I need my partner to work with me and teammate with me on this, because that doesn't feel like where we're at. It feels like I've voiced something, this is important to me, and you've made me wrong for it. And I'm no longer willing to accept that. That's not on for me. I need you to meet me here. If we can't do that now, we can take a pause, we can have a break, and we can come back together on it. But learning to stand up for yourself, respect yourself, and voice what's important to you is a paramount. It is absolutely paramount when it comes to having any sort of happy, connected relationship. That's been today's Coaching Corner lesson. Bring it on the table, because if it's not on the table, you're hiding it away. That doesn't mean every single little detail needs to be out in the open, but it means that the shit that's important to you, your needs, your wants, your desires, if it ain't on the table, you're hiding it. How the hell is anyone going to meet that? You're responsible for that. Let us know in the comments how this has landed for you. And if you're a nice guy and all of this is landing and resonating for you, then let us know in the comments and we can immediately get you access to the resource that we have for nice guys, a nice guy action plan to help you transform immediately. One task, one moment, one day, one action, one big change. All right. Till next time.